Hello, I'm James Matthews-Paul. This is EXPO, and I'm here with PrintingNews.com. I'm very lucky to be here with Toby Weiss. You are Senior VP and General Manager of Fiery at EFI.
That's right.
And that's a pretty broad product category. As we know, over the last 25 years, Fiery has now evolved to have a number of different iterations, hasn't it? And I wonder, what makes Fiery the product that it is, and how far has it come in those 25 years, do you think?
Yeah, as you said, it was. We're actually celebrating our 25th year anniversary, so it's pretty exciting for us. When I look back, Fiery is so different from what it is today. I mean, I think originally it was meant really as a connectivity to drive and make a copier into a press. And I look today, and it's really a very different story. Today, it's about integration, it's about performance, it's about color management, and so if I look at what printers are struggling with today, it's how to increase the top line and how to save more money. And so really Fiery's place is to make sure the printer itself, the piece of hardware, isn't isolated, that it's connected to the rest of their environment, that it's connected to their workflow, their MIS, that it's connected and helping them automate, that it's giving them the tools that they need to get the jobs done quickly, that one doesn't have to be an expert. Of course, you're an expert, you can do whatever you want, but you don't have to be an expert to be able to use it. And that's really where Fiery is headed. And then additionally, it's really been about expanding the platforms that our customers could use. So whereas Fiery might have been just for cut sheet before, you can now run Fiery on high-speed inkjet devices and packaging devices that are coming out. And so Fiery is really meant to go from the smallest printers all the way up to the most robust, fastest, high-speed production inkjets. It's really been quite a wild ride in the 25 years.
Absolutely. I mean, over that period, software has become increasingly important. And I suppose we would probably struggle to find a printer that doesn't have a RIP or that doesn't have at least some kind of basic, software backbone. I guess that we've been trying to put across to printers the importance of having a digital front end. What do you think to the idea that a digital front end is now kind of indisposable for a printer? What is a DFE and why is it so relevant to a print shop now?
Yeah, great question. So I think everyone always needed a RIP or a digital front end. It was obviously you couldn't do your job without that. But now the real question is, how important is it? And what's amazing to me is that it's grown in importance. Actually, I think customers now, what I'm seeing, the smart customers are spending a lot more time up front, really asking the tough questions. Well, how exactly is this going to work with my existing workflow? And more importantly, what's going to happen when I go forward? I think the biggest thing for printers is to look at, am I going to be flexible? If someone comes to me with jobs that I don't have today, how am I going to be able to deal with those? What if I want to expand my markets that I serve? What if I want to expand the types of customers? What's going to allow me to do that? Not just, does it work? And so I think people's mentality have gone from, does it work and meet my performance needs, to what can it really help me do with my business today? And so digital front ends have been really indispensable. It's way more than just software. Software is something that you can run. Fiery is a combination of the software and the hardware. We invest millions of dollars into custom ASIC or chip technology that allows Fiery to process files really fast and do things with a small amount of hardware that customers don't have to buy blades and blades and blades to be able to do. They can actually get something that's affordable for them. So it's pretty exciting.
Affordability is a really interesting point, because I think that when we talk about any kind of software solution, but sort of leading more towards workflow now, there are some major advantages of that, and that profitability aspect I think is really important, and it's a convincing argument. But where do you see workflow software going in general over the next few years?
Oh, well, I think workflow is going to just continue to be more and more and more important. There's not a single customer I go to who doesn't either try to, automate their shop so that they either have less errors or less cost, or be able to automate it so that they can actually grab in a lot more orders, via the web, or move work from offset to digital in an easier way. I was actually just talking to a customer last week. I mean, it must be 25 different touch points in their sales organization to be able to quote a product and get it out the door. And when you can take the digital front end, you can connect it to the MIS, the pre-flight, all the other software in the shop, and you can make those jobs come in and go out very quickly and meeting a customer's needs, not dropping the ball at all. It's just tremendous. So I think workflow is going to continue to be more and more important. I would imagine that it's par for the course, that if you don't have workflow software, you're just basically not in business anymore.
Yeah. I think it is interesting. The more you go on in this industry, the more you realise that everyone has their own unique setup. And Graph Expo is like many shows. It's just a way to explore how you can pick the bits that you want and need to make your setup as optimal as you can. What do you want people to take away from this show, from what EFI has to offer here, and also what Graph Expo maybe has more broadly?
Yeah, well, obviously, as we joked around, people come to trade shows, they're always taking away the squeezy balls and some other things, but I think there's a bunch bigger takeaways. And as you said, if I'm a printer, I'm thinking, well, I can, my competition can have the same printers as me. My competition can have the same potentially software as me. Whatever's here is available to everyone. And so the real difference is, how can I put it all together, and how can I run my business that's going to make my customers most successful? And I think that's what we're really focused on at EFI is, what does the end customer really need to deliver product effectively for their customer, and making it all work together, I think, is a really big difference. So if I were coming to Graph Expo, I wouldn't look for, what's this, what's that. I would be thinking, what's my overall strategy? How do all these pieces actually fit in so that I could deliver value to my customer?
That's a fantastic answer. Toby Weiss from EFI, thank you very much for joining us at the Graph Expo Show Daily Video. I'm James Matthews Paul, this is Toby, thanks very much.
Thanks for having me.